Gamecast from MSN.
In association with Windows Internet Explorer 8.
Hello, dear listener. Welcome to the MSN Gamecast. My name's Iain Lee. Normally, this introduction will be done by Jane Douglas. She's bunked off. She don't work here no more. So it's me doing this and feeling slightly awkward as I do. Joining me is Nick Taylor.
Hello there.
We tossed coins to see who got to do the introduction. I lost the toss, so it was me. I don't think I've quite got the gravitas that Jane had.
Well, I think you did very well, but a bit more husky, maybe.
Okay, yeah, I've got a bit of a throat. And there's no one else joining us today. It is just a lads special.
It is indeed, yes.
Which worries me a little bit.
We've
that
been
it might
let loose.
we might get a little bit raunchy, so stay tuned. Crack open a beer, turn the soccer down. I don't know what I'm... But we've got a new person joining us next month.
Yeah, we do. In the post-E3 podcast that we'll be doing at the start of July, we have a new editor.
Okay, well, say no more. Let's say no more. Let's keep it a nice surprise that they tune in next month. But I think you will be pleasantly surprised, and she will be... A clue has been given away. A welcome addition to the team. If you want to discuss this podcast at any point, we have a forum, and I'll give this out a couple of times during the Gamecast. It's tinyurl.com/MSN Gamecast, which is nice and easy. Yeah. I only discovered the tiny URLs recently.
They're good, aren't they?
It's brilliant, isn't it? Who invented it? How do they make money? They can't make money, can they?
I've no idea at all, but it's very handy because our forum is the URLs consists of about 1 million zeros and a few random letters. So this one's a lot better, I think. And
let's do some business that we don't always do, but perhaps we should. You can get the Gamecast on the MSN site if they go to the Tech and Gadgets page.
That's right. Tech and Gadgets channel on MSN.
You can subscribe to it on the iTunes.
You can indeed.
And that's probably it.
Pretty much.
There'll be someone who's posting it somewhere, but there are the two main things. The best thing is either go to MSN homepage and find us in Tech and Gadgets, or subscribe on iTunes, and it will get delivered to your inbox. I don't know what I'm saying. Let's go straight in, Nick.
Let's do it.
I'm going to start with what I've been playing this month. 2 games.
Yep.
Alan Wake.
Yep.
Which you very, very kindly lent me. Mm-hmm. I've seen Nick's flat. It's very nice. Yeah, it's very, very posh. It's weird. The stairs are in the middle and everything's built around it, but it's very posh.
It's like a castle.
It is like it's like a turret of a castle. It's like the turret. And I went onto the top of the turret and we're firing Indians at the... they're firing arrows at the hordes of people attacking. Anyway, so... Alan Wake, which you lent me.
Yes.
It looked brilliant. Let's do the positives first, shall we? It looked brilliant. It looked like... The story was brilliant and very gripping. I liked that. It was very tense. I just found it too long for it to get going. Now, you said this before, and other people mentioned it to me on Twitter and at work and stuff, that you've got to give it a couple of hours, and then it really kicks off and it really starts taking shape. But I haven't got a couple of hours these days. I need to... We were talking about this on the way up. In the olden days, back in the day, a game would have like a 10-minute tutorial, which was a bit boring, but you had to do, and then you were off and you could do it and you're playing. With Alan Wake, it just felt... I gave it an hour. It just felt it was a little bit too slow, and I wasn't really getting out of it what I think I deserved.
Yeah. I think that's reasonable because it is a drawn-out game, but it's not actually particularly long though. The whole game itself, you can be through it in about 8 or 10 hours. But it does seem to be the way of it at the moment that these kind of games have these very drawn-out beginnings, where you don't actually do all that much. And it is almost like an extended tutorial, really. But Alan Wake definitely repays the time when you're a bit deeper into it, I think. Yeah. Because it's the storyline is what drives you through it. It is a little bit corny in places, but it's an involving story.
If that were a TV series, I'd watch that. I'd Sky Plus that. I mean, I would class it sort of below Lost, slightly above V, and way above Caprica in terms of kind of story and content. I'd watch it, but as a game, I don't like this trend, and it's the same with not Chubby Rain. What's it called? Heavy Rain. Chubby Rain's a film, isn't it, with Steve Martin? It's not just this kind of thing where they're trying to make an immersive movie where it's kind of you're slightly more passive and there are bits, but you have choices. I'm deciding I don't like that style of gaming. Whereas you do. You're a big fan of all that kind of... Yeah.
Well, Alan Wake really wants to do it because it deliberately sets itself up
as chapters,
as a TV
like
show.
Episodes.
Yeah, so you get to the end of an episode and it finishes with proper credits, and then begin the next one, it's all previously on Alan Wake.
Yeah.
It gives you all the little snippets of what happened before. So it desperately wants to be a TV show and a game at the same time. And it's going to follow that with the downloadable content that will come out as well. And that's going to be more episodes that then bolt on.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it's a really interesting way to do games. I think Alan Wake's age shows in places because although
they've been
it's
developing
a
it
new game,
for years, haven't they?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that shows in the control system a little bit. Feels a little bit clunky.
Listen, first thing for the forum, tinyurl.com/MSN Gamecast. These kind of immersive movies, like I'm going to call it Chubby Rain from now on. Why not? Chubby Rain and Alan Wake. Are they for you, or do you just find that you're not as involved as you'd like to be? Go to the forum and let us know. Very quickly, side note, we mentioned Lost there. Were you a Lost fan?
I'm afraid not.
Oh, okay.
No, sorry
case,
about
have the
that. Was it a good ending?
It was. I swing from thinking it was a beautiful piece of art to feeling ripped off. I'm now erring on the side that it was really, really good, but they cheated a little bit too much.
Yeah.
No spoilers, don't worry, kids, in case you still haven't seen it, but they cheated a little bit too much. And I expected there to be a lot of questions unanswered. There were too many unanswered. There were things they should have answered they didn't answer. Basically, Season 5 was pointless. Absolutely pointless. Served no purpose whatsoever. Anyway, sorry, back to video games.
Alan Wake, again, as well. Has there ever been a more unfit gaming character than Alan Wake?
Oh, yeah, he struggles,
Did you
doesn't he?
try running with him?
Yeah.
He can run for about 5 seconds, and then he's exhausted and he stops. And you think, there's a zombie behind you. Like,
come
you really
on.
need to get a move on. But,
if I was being chased by a zombie, it's like those mothers when their child is trapped under a bus
Yeah.
and they have suddenly find the strength to lift up a bus. If I
Exactly.
were being chased by a zombie, I would find the energy and the strength to keep on running.
Yeah. Or at least do more than a slow plod.
Oh, jeez.
Especially when you're only armed with a torch.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was a little bit
The
disappointing.
game of the month for me, and I have been playing a game that I've been looking forward to it, and it has excelled my expectations. Red Dead Redemption. Oh, cowboys, horses, guns, and lassos. It's brilliant. have you had a go on this?
I have, yeah. I've been playing this quite a bit.
I got it a few days before it came out. And I thought my initial thing when I get a game before it comes out, which isn't very often these days, occasionally I do, is I like to go online so that all of my friends can go, hang on, that's not out till Friday. How have you got that? So you look a little bit kind of cool, but also because there won't be many people playing online, and I'll probably be quite good at it. I was terrible at it online. I was this Mexican guy, and you have a horse which you can whistle for, but this guy just had a donkey. And you whistle, and the donkey comes, and he walks slower than you do. And I was playing it with people who obviously had it for about a week or something, I don't know, and were excellent. And there was one point where every time I spawned, I would just get shot straight away. And there's one point I kept spawning, kept respawning, and I just kept saying, could you please let me get to the town before you shoot me so I can go and hide somewhere? And they go, yeah, of course. And they'd let me run off, and they'd shoot me in the back of the head. I had an hour doing that.
Reasoning with online gamers doesn't work.
Jeez. And this was because there weren't many people. Not many people had it. This was the only online game there was, so it was very little I could do. Online aside, I think that the game itself, it looks stunning, doesn't it? I had a few people tweeting me saying they've not got that far in the game just because they're riding around having a look at the scenery. It's amazing. It sounds brilliant. The acting is really good as well. This is always one of my bugbears, which we've mentioned many, many times before, is poor acting. And the acting's pretty good in it for a video game. I think there's some really nice little touches in it.
Yeah, the guy that voice acts John Marston, the main character, I think he's well cast.
Yeah.
He's got that sort of gruff cowboy kind of thing going on just quite nicely.
And lovely missions, huge missions. You can go off. I've been kind of following the sheriff quite a bit. You've been going off doing the little side missions.
Yeah, the strangers missions and things like that, and also the ones where you can collect stuff to make new outfits. Because this is one of the clever things they've put in.
I've got some. I was going to say some bad boys outfits. I stole something from a dead body, so now I've got an outfit that will disguise me when I go and work with some outlaws or something.
Yeah. I've got one of those, and another one called the Elegant Suit.
Oh, I see.
Which enables you to cheat at poker, which is pretty cool.
Oh, fantastic!
And then you've got this little mini game of having to balance the dial as you're dealing the cards.
Okay.
And if you manage it right, then you cheat at poker. But if you do it wrong, then they haul you outside.
Wow.
You're up for a duel.
I played. Was it the 5-finger fillet?
Oh,
It said
yeah.
this way for the 5-finger fillet. I thought, oh, this sounds a little bit raunchy. I'll go and it's just some blokes sitting on a box and with the knife in between the fingers.
Really hard.
Yeah, really hard. I lost a lot of money doing that.
Yeah.
I was there for like 20 minutes until I was skinned. I went, hang on, what am I doing? Why don't I go and shoot some bandits? This is a ridiculous waste of my time.
Yeah.
But I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's been the hit of where are we now? We're June now. The hit of May, early June. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone seems to be playing it, and it's getting great reviews everywhere.
Yeah,
deservedly so, I think.
And there were a lot
Bravo.
of big games that came out in May as well, and it's eclipsed all of them really. But
totally,
there you go. It's a Rockstar game.
It's Rockstar, and they kind of know how to do the publicity and stuff, but it's a good game, you know, and I think if it's a stinker of a game, it ain't going to swim. What else have you been playing?
I have been playing a bit of the new Super Mario game. Super Mario Galaxy 2.
Galaxy 2 on the Wii, of course.
Yes, indeed.
Any good?
Yeah, it is. Well, it's Super Mario Galaxy, but more, really.
Right.
Don't expect a revolution or a massive change. At times, it doesn't even really feel like a sequel. It just feels like extra stuff.
Yeah.
But there is plenty in there that's new. It looks incredible for a Wii game.
Yeah.
The graphics are wonderful. The usual brilliant Nintendo music going all the way through as well. And there's extra stuff. The main one that stands out is you can ride Yoshi on some levels now, so you can go shooting around on him, and that adds a lot. Use his tongue to get around the platforms and reach otherwise inaccessible areas.
Yeah.
It does everything that you would want from a Mario game. So if you love Mario games, you will love this new one. If the first one didn't do it for you, then it's there's not enough that's different. It's
Can I say something that's going to get me
mind.
shot down by a lot of the forum people? I've never played Super Mario Galaxy.
Oh, okay,
and there'll be people listening to this in disgust. How dare he claim to be able to talk about games when he's not played it? And it just kind of missed me. I just I was away or something when it came out. I don't know, and it kind of slipped past me. But apparently brilliant. You know, it's, Mario games.
It got rave reviews.
Yeah.
This new one is getting rave reviews as well. Pretty much perfects everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's perfect. I mean, for me, a sequel should bring a bit more that's different.
Yeah, of course.
To the game than really what there is there. But also the difficulty level on it bothers me a bit because it's really easy at the start.
Yeah.
And so the first hour or two, you're just waiting for something remotely challenging to happen.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. You just breeze through these levels that are so easy, and they look really fantastic and everything. And there's lots of interesting, clever, imaginative things in there. But you do find yourself just thinking, I just want to have a bit of a challenge, and that takes ages to come before you really feel. And like then when it comes, stretched.
It's kind of like a massive learning curve. Is it?
Not too much. It is gentle, but it's just it struggled to keep my attention at the beginning because it was so gentle. That would be one of my main bugbears. But
okay. If you've played any of these games, dear listener, tinyurl.com/MSN Gamecast, let us know what your thoughts are, or if you agree with what we're saying, what you've heard. Any other games that you've been playing, or has that been it?
Well, it was another one I was playing was Prince of Persia, the latest one of those called The Forgotten Sands.
No, I read a review of this that says it's just the game from 6 years ago revamped a little bit. Is that right?
That's pretty true.
Why would they do that? Oh, because there's a big massive movie coming out. That would be
fun. But I don't get it because they totally rebooted the series 2 years ago. When Prince of Persia came out and they'd done this whole cell shading thing, it looks really cool, and that's just been thrown in the bin. And they've gone, actually, Sands of Time was better, so we'll go back and model it on that instead. So it's basically the same. Not to say it's not lots of fun.
Yeah,
I've really enjoyed playing it, and it's a fairly simple combat-based platformer. So you're just doing lots of leaping around, classic Prince of Persia style wall running and all this sort of thing, and taking out hordes of enemies all at once, which is really good fun. And it's the sort of game you can just switch off and play. Yeah, you don't even have to concentrate.
I like
that much
them
on
games.
It. Yeah, and it's you're instantly into the action.
Did you feel a bit cheated though? Does it look like a 6-year-old game revamped a little bit?
I think it looks pretty nice, but it's just if you've played the previous Prince of Persia games, then you probably will feel a bit like, hang on, what's going on here? There are some new bits, like you get more powers as you go through, so you can like you can solidify water, for instance. So then you can make extra
or freeze
platforms.
it, as I like to call it. That's the technical term, I think.
Yes, there's no change in temperature involved.
Oh, I see. Sneaky. that sneaky Prince of Persia with his water
magical.
antics.
But it's so you get extra powers like that sort of add new areas to the gameplay. But
when's the movie coming out?
It's out.
Now, listen, the big thing happening in... is it June the E3 is happening?
Yes, it's June the 15th to the 17th.
I'm not going. You're not going.
Nope.
Our top secret third person is
indeed.
going.
Yeah, we're sending a correspondent.
How come she's got the gig? I'm not being funny. She's only been here 20 minutes and she's going off to E3.
Friends in high places, what can I say?
Do we know what's happening? I've looked up a few rumours of what may be announced at E3. One of them, excuse me, is the PSP 2.
Yes.
Is supposedly going to be announced. Sony have kind of said, well, no, we're not doing that. But then didn't the PSP Go get outed? And Sony were kind of caught on the back foot going, well, no, yes, well, actually...
That got properly outed, though, didn't it? They actually accidentally released all the pictures of it and everything.
Oh, did they?
And, all of the press shots were suddenly out in the public domain, and people were going, oh, that looks like a new PSP. And then they had to try to deny it until their E3 show came up.
Fantastic.
Which didn't work. So this isn't really on a scale of that.
No.
But I think it's a lot of people adding... two different rumours together,
right?
Sort of going, oh, maybe it's coming, because there's been a guy, one of the Sony execs, talking about how they need to change the PSP model, like in terms of the business model, to really step it up and make it sell again. And people have taken that as maybe hinting at a new piece of hardware.
Okay.
But yeah, the rumours are that it'll be touchscreen based.
But do you know what? I'm bored of touchscreen. I'm really bored of... I had to go on the iPad the other day. What is the point of that? It's pointless, isn't it? It looks beautiful, and for the first 10 minutes you're going, oh, it's so shiny, it's so slim, it's so light, it's wonderful. Then after 10 minutes you're going, yeah, but what does it do? It's got no camera, you can't do phone calls on it, it's got no USB, it's got no flash. There was... someone was saying that there was a BBC website showing this brilliant video for the iPad, but you couldn't watch it on an iPad because you can't access the BBC content or something like that. Yeah. It's just pointless. And so touchscreen, I'm getting bored of it. I want buttons. I want buttons and knobs to fiddle with.
Well, you get more buttons as well. You get the touchscreen on this apparent PSP2.
Yeah.
So the rumour goes, you get a touchscreen, but you also get dual analog controls.
I'm back there.
Yeah,
yes.
And that would be a real game changer for that platform, I think, because you could have such good first-person shooters on there, for instance.
Yeah.
And that's where everything is at the moment with gaming. That would be really cool, and it would be very powerful. It would use a slightly stripped-down version of the chip that's running the PS3 at the moment. So. You could, I mean, it would be more powerful than what the PS2.
But Sony are saying this thing doesn't exist, and it's just the fantasy of some geeks on the internet.
Yeah, I don't think they've said very much about it at all, like either confirming or denying it. So I don't know. I haven't seen any outright denials.
I want some new consoles. I've said this before. I want new consoles. I don't just want a 3D DS. You know, whatever. If you want to send me one, Nintendo, brilliant. And I will come on here and say that it's fantastic and everyone should buy one. But, you know, I don't want little tweaks here. I don't want HD Wii. I want a brand new console that does something amazing. It's not much to ask for, is it?
No,
It's a fine request.
I'm sure someone can turn that around.
Have you got an iPad?
No. I've had a go on one, but no.
Pointless,
I haven't gone out and bought
600
one.
quid.
I'm not sure I can find a case for buying one, really.
But Apple are very clever. You know, when you walk past, they do the same thing that they do in bakeries. You know, in bakeries, when you walk past, they pump out the smell of fresh bread. So you walk past and go, oh, I don't want to... Oh, that smells lovely. I'm going to go and buy some bread. I was walking past the Apple store in Brent Cross the other day thinking, I don't want an iPad. And they were pumping something out. And I walked past it and suddenly going... Oh, maybe I should just go in there and I could... Yeah, I think maybe I might get... And I had to force myself to walk away. Yeah. They're doing something with my mind. Yeah. It's crazy and it's not good.
Well, and they look beautiful as well, don't they?
They're stunning.
The screen on an iPad is absolutely incredible.
It's stunning.
Yeah, the
but
experience
you've got the 4G phone coming out, I don't know, next month, something ridiculous like that. That's another O2 contract I'll have to buy my way out of. Anyway, I'm going off on an Apple rant. Let's not bother. But also, the iPad version 2 I'm sure will be out in a year, 8 months or something, and will have so much more that it can do. This
is the thing for early adopters, isn't it? You always pay the price for being the first person in your neighbourhood to have one, because it's not going to be as good as the updated one that will come very soon.
A friend of mine won one in a raffle.
No, that's
in a
all right.
raffle. But he was so cool about it. He got it. He went, yeah, I don't like it, and he just threw it on the table. I don't like it. I was going to give you 50 quid for it. He wasn't that much of an idiot. Sony to launch premium PlayStation Network. This is their online service that, for years, in the great fanboy wars of 360 versus PS3, the trump card that the PlayStation owners have always had, yes, but the PlayStation Network is free. That's always been their trump card. Yes, it may not be as well organised, in my opinion, as the Xbox Live, but it's free. And now there are rumours that Sony are going to introduce a premium thing that could be 40, 50 quid a year, I think.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything concrete on exactly what this is going to include, but don't know. For me, it would seem that it's going to end up moving towards a similar setup that you do have with Xbox, where you got a two-tier system, and so you can go online with your console. Yeah. Should you wish, but without paying anything at all, but you can't do the online gaming, for instance. Yeah. So I suppose that would enable them to make it something that you can download content onto, such as TV programs. But then again, having said that, if it's £50 a year, for instance, then that is
77 pence a week.
77 pence a week. It sounds okay like that, but if you're saving up for saying one game every month, then that's a game that you can't buy.
Again, tinyurl.com/MSN Gamecast. Are you a PS3 user? These are just rumours, by the way. We don't know if these are fact, and the next Gamecast we'll let you know whether these came to pass or not. Does that upset you that this could happen? Would you pay that money? That you're not bothered? Is that the end of your argument against Xbox owners? So we'll see. What have you heard that might be?
What have I heard?
Happening?
Well, there's been
your fingers on the pulse, Nick. So I'm expecting hot gossip from you.
Oh yeah, I have loads of hot gossip. It's there's a lot of Xbox rumours floating about. Obviously, Natal is going to be one of the big stories at E3, and what's it going to be called? When is it going to come out? Okay, and what's it going to cost? Because Natal is still just a code name. Project Natal was never intended to be the final name. So the rumour is...
It's a silly name.
It is really,
Natal is how it's pronounced. That was babies, I think.
I've never quite got over that, really. It was an odd choice.
Words that you have to pronounce differently from how they're spelled is never... No. It's never a goer, I don't think. So what do we think it's going to be called?
The whisper at the moment is they'll be called Wave. Microsoft Wave.
Let's just have a second to think about that, Wave. No, don't like it. It's a bit
next.
It's a bit limp, isn't it? How do they decide these things? It is just blokes earning too much money, sat in a room, going, "Okay, we need a name for this thing. What are we going to call it?" Well, sir, you wave at it, so let's call it the Wave. Okay, fine. The Wave is fine. October the 26th, I've heard, is the release date.
Yeah. Well, I haven't heard anything as specific as...
I've heard. I found it on the internet. The home of fact.
But yeah, October definitely seems to be the way forward. And if it does turn out to be October, we'd be in the unusual situation of having a big gaming story broken by Jonathan Ross. Because he was the first one to mention this back in February.
Oh, really?
When he tweeted about having played it. Yeah. And mentioned that it was good but not perfect, but at least they had until October to iron out the faults. Price. That started. This is all rumour again, of course, but it started out. The rumours were saying about £50, and now the rumours are more like it's going to be more than £100.
Okay.
So don't know. Somewhere in between, maybe?
Is it going to be like... I remember when I got my first job on the telly, right? So I'd gone from signing on to suddenly getting like a little bit what was at the time considered to be silly money. And the first thing I went out and bought... was I had a PlayStation. I went out and bought an N64, and that was like luxury. It was having two consoles at that time. It was like, this is the dream. The second thing I bought, and it was the most frivolous thing, and it was 60 quid, was a steering wheel for my PlayStation. And it had pedals. And it had a gear stick, right? And I thought, this is awesome. And I'd forgotten the golden rule that steering wheels are rubbish. They're just rubbish. They don't add anything to a game at all, you know. So I'm sat there playing, I don't know, but it was probably Gran Turismo at the time, and pretending I was enjoying it. I'm actually thinking this is really unresponsive and is making the game impossible to play. Is Natal Wave, whatever it's called, just going to be like a steering wheel where you get it because you think, oh, this looks cool, but actually... it doesn't really add anything. If anything, it detracts. This is what I'm worried about.
Yeah, reasonable concern. It's got to be good, hasn't it? I mean, they
blind faith in its masters. Well done. Have you had a go on it yet?
No, I haven't. No, sadly not. But I think they've got to make it good, is what I mean, because they need it to work. It's you've got Nintendo already has motion control.
Yeah.
Sony's bringing out Move, which I have tried and is very good.
Right.
Natal has the potential to be better than both because it doesn't require any physical controllers.
Yeah.
But will that actually translate into good gameplay? That's going to be the test. And also, what kind of games will you get with it? Is it just going to be a load of sub-party games? Or
I hate party games. I've heard rumours that Call of Duty are interested in having something to do with Natal.
That'd be cool.
Not for the next one that's coming out, but that there is talk that they want to do something together. We'll see. I'm worried that it's going to come out and remember that video with Milo.
Yes,
and that will be forgotten and will never be mentioned
Yeah.
because it won't be anything as good as that video implied it was going to be. That's my worry, is that it'll be quite good fun, and you're right, it'll be lots of like bishy bashy boshy party games, which will be fun. But then someone will go, hang on, what about the kid, the 8-year-old kid that we could talk to and he could read bits of paper that we showed him? And no, I don't know what you're talking about. That never happened. That's gone. That's my fear.
Well, yeah. Hopefully, it doesn't turn out to be a case of over-promising.
Yeah.
But the Fable 3 is already signed up to be using it. So we can expect to see, some games like that bringing in Natal functionality.
It's going to be exciting.
Cool.
It's going to be very exciting. A new breakthrough piece of hardware coming through, which is going to be exciting either way. And I'm going to get one. Of course, I'm going to get one.
Yeah.
Ridiculous not to, wouldn't it?
Well, of course, you got to check it out.
E3. Anything else?
E3,
that's the lot, is it?
There might be a slim Xbox coming out as well.
You're a little bit windy, Pops, there, Nick. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
sorry,
We'll edit that bit out. Don't worry. Yeah, right.
Diet Coke going down the wrong way. They reckon...
Because Jane's not here, we're just belching. We're doing this show in our pants, by the way. We've always wanted to, but we just couldn't with Jane here. And now we can.
Football on in the corner.
It's great. Living the dream. Slim Xbox.
A slim Xbox, apparently, yes. So that could be part of a bundle with Natal as well.
Okay.
This is based on some fuzzy picture of a motherboard taken somewhere in China.
Lovely.
Very small motherboard, so apparently you can have a nice little slim Xbox instead of the big chunky beast that you currently have.
Sort out the overheating issue. Thank you, Xbox. Very quickly, one thing that I read that for months I've been reading in The Edge and in other gaming magazines about this kind of online streaming service where consoles are going to be a thing of the past.
Yes.
And that you will have like a box, like your Sky box or your BT box, your Virgin box under your TV, and that will be able to stream games, like proper games, not rubbish, bat and ball and stuff, like Call of Duty style games, to that box, so you could play online without actually owning the game. You'd rent it or something, and without owning a console. And there's talk that BT are about to announce. They're joining up with OnLive, I think, are the big company that's kind of pushing it the most, and they're about to make an announcement. So it's interesting to see that BT could be going, signing up with this OnLive thing. I don't know if it's the way forward. I think people like to have a console, and they like to a lesser extent than maybe they did 5 years ago, but they do like to pledge their allegiance to a console. You get the fanboys. I know that we kind of have a couple of consoles and we're very lucky in that respect, but some people are PlayStation boys, some people are Nintendo, some are Xbox, and I don't know if this is going to take off.
I think it could do if it's as good as they suggest it could be.
Can it be as good as they suggest? There's got to be an element of lag, hasn't it? It can't.
As long as you've got the bandwidth, it'll be alright,
Yeah.
I guess. But will you get the bandwidth?
Yeah.
That's the problem. There's a lot of households around the country that struggle to get 2 meg.
You're guaranteed up to 8 meg broadband, but you're getting like 1.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And I can't see it working properly over that kind of a connection. Fine, if you've got like a perfect 20 meg connection, you'll probably be okay.
Yeah.
But if there's the tiniest little bit of lag when you're between you pressing the button on your controller and the action happening on the screen, then it's not going to work. People will just say, no, I'm not interested.
This is a long shot, but I know that there are people out there who have got like beta versions of this system at home and who are testing it. If that's you, we'd love you to come to the forum and let us know your views on it. tinyurl.com/MSN Gamecast. I know it's a long shot, but it's worth putting out there and seeing if anybody can help us with that.
That's another E3 event as well, is that Richard Branson is bowling up at E3.
Hello.
To make a big announcement about Virgin Gaming coming back into existence.
Okay.
It used to be a big games publisher back in the day. I don't know. There's Virgin Media, isn't there?
Yeah.
Could this be another competitor to On Live,
It'll
maybe?
be interesting to
or
see.
are they just going to start making more games, which would be great as well?
Yeah, we shall see. Speaking of the forum, shall we have a look and see if there's anything?
I've just got a couple of games that I wanted to
go on.
flag up.
It's getting a bossy league. I'll sit back, Nick. You take it. Let's have it.
Well, a few more rumours ahead of E3, games that we could see. And I thought if we could put this one out to the forums, what game would you most like to hear announced at the coming up E3 show? Because there's talk there could be a new Zelda game for the Wii.
Yeah.
We could be hearing about Half-Life 2 Episode 3.
Okay.
Which would be pretty big news. Then there's games that have been bubbling away for a while that should people should be able to get to see more of. Agent is the new Rockstar game, which is a PS3 exclusive. This one, but this got my attention because it sounds really cool. It's set at the end of the 70s, and it's a sort of political espionage type thriller kind of game.
That sounds exciting.
And I love all those sort of films, like the old Robert Redford movie, All the President's Men.
Yeah, of course.
No, that sort of thing. So yeah, I think that could be really cool. And yeah, I thought we should see something of Rock Band 3 as well. Have you heard about this?
No.
Rock Band 3? I reckon there'll be piano in it, or keyboards.
Oh,
or something like that.
That's a little bit cheeky. I knew there was something missing from my Rock Band. Yeah, that will be fun.
Yeah. So, well, it's only because there was a little snippet at the end of the trailer, and it showed all the icons that you get under the Rock Band logo. And at the end, there was one with keys.
Lovely.
So, it could be a keyboard, could be a keytar.
Oh, God. Oh, no, please don't. Don't do that.
80s style.
That's hideous. A hideous instrument. Terrible. That'd be good.
Yeah. So that'd be good. So yeah, I just thought if we could hear from the listeners, what game are you really looking forward to hearing about, or that could be announced at E3? What would you want to see?
Let us know. We will give out the forum address at the end of this Gamecast, so get your pens and papers ready, kids. What is on the forums this month?
What we were asking about at the end of the last one, which was what was the biggest event or the most amazing event that you've had in gaming? Because I think we were talking about the moment in Resi where the guy comes at you with a chainsaw for the first time.
Handyman says, you'll know this because this is one of your favourite games, when you get out of the vault for the first time on Fallout 3. Oh, yeah, no, I did that.
That's really cool, yeah.
Yeah, it is quite cool, actually.
Yeah.
That is quite cool. The alien-grabbing jester in Crisis. Hang on a second. What's this say? I think you three... this is referring to me, Nick and Jane. I think you three make the whole range of gamers. Jane has been the gamer I was siding with, and now she's gone. I don't think the podcast is going to be as good from now on. What the well, you've just heard 40 minutes of evidence that has proved you completely wrong, Handyman. No, it's not two middle-aged men spluttering away like idiots. It's people with their fingers on the pulse telling you what's happening in the world, for goodness sakes. Go on, what else we got?
He does wish us good luck, though. So
thank you, Handyman.
That's good of him.
Don't worry, there's a third voice will be coming in next month to help us out, don't worry.
Yeah. No Shadow has gone for an old-school top 5. The opening and getting out onto the world map in the first time in Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Bit more Final Fantasy.
If Jane were here, she'd be going, oh yeah, that was good, that was my favourite, I enjoyed that. We just go, yeah.
Final Fantasy 13, the attempt to assassinate Adair. I think Silent Hill, this one gets my vote. The first time things go bizarre in Silent Hill 1.
Yes.
And everything starts to go nuts, and then and also the introduction of Pyramid Head. But I think the GTA 3 one that he mentions as well, just getting into GTA 3 for the first time.
Yeah,
that was quite a moment, because I just remember playing GTA 1 and 2 and thinking, wouldn't it be amazing if you could actually go into these buildings and you could actually properly walk around this city, and then suddenly in GTA 3 you could just do anything.
Didn't you miss running over the Krishnas though?
Yes.
I enjoyed that. I used to like that. It was the first GTA game was great. It was like a Commodore 64 style game. It was, but the first time you saw that, it was like, oh my God, they've done this.
Yeah, that was properly a moment, I think.
Stoner99, my most memorable gaming moment was playing FIFA 9 for the second time and beating a friend who gets paid to play video games all day long. This so-called friend threw a hissy fit, blamed the data control system, and will not replay him at FIFA 10.
Stoner99 has actually been banned from the message board now.
Oh, really?
On my request.
Oh, oh, it's your mate, isn't it? Of course, it's you. Sorry, I do apologise. I just got that. Thank you. Did you have a little strop then when you lose video games?
No.
You strike me as the sort that would.
He's a wind-up merchant.
I'm gonna get in touch. Who's this is saying this? The Asif. My most memorable moment was when Ares died in Final Fantasy VII. My little girl cried for hours when that happened. Then he raised an interesting point. Is it me, or are Call of Duty games just looking all the same? Don't think I will buy that one, as I've been disappointed with the last couple of games. They do look the same, but they're excellent.
Yeah,
I think it's. I mean, there's little tweaks here and there, but yeah, the last couple I think look quite similar.
They have a style, don't they?
But
But
it's
I
not
think
a bad thing. I don't think
you go through lots of different environments as well.
Yeah. David Lowe, big gamer, has no friends or no friends. The chainsaw from Resi 4 is my most remembered death because there is no way out of it. Once he gets you, it's all over. And tried to recreate it in Resi 5. Ruined it for me. Some punctuation there would have helped, but thank you, David Lowe. All good stuff.
Bigsy 1977. The first time I played Elite 2 Frontier. This will get your attention, do you?
Yeah, no, I've not played Elite 2. Yes, I'm aware of it, though, of course. Go on.
Yeah, the brilliant depiction of Isaac Newton's laws of motion. The way the music changed when the situation you were in changed, and especially when you started docking procedures with a space station, and it plays Blue Danube in homage to 2001: A Space Odyssey. So it still brings a nostalgic tear to my eye thinking back on it.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1 as well, he says, when the nuke goes off. Yeah, that was a good bit.
Yeah,
that was a good bit. I truly never saw that coming. A great plot twist, killing off a main playable character. Genius.
Oblivion as well is a good mention for Oblivion, and just standing out anywhere in Oblivion and looking at the surroundings, because at the time it was real groundbreaking.
Well, kids, listen, there you go. I think our time is probably done. I feel we've probably done. Yes, we're being told yes by our technical assistant, we'll call him. Listen, the forum again is tinyurl.com/Gamecast. It will be very, very nice for you to come and give your comments on any of the things that we've mentioned, anything that you're excited about, and anything that you think we should be talking about and perhaps we keep overlooking. Then go on there and let us know. Don't forget MSN, the website. Go to Tech and Gadgets to download us there.
tech.uk.msn.com.
Good lad, thank you. Or you can subscribe to us on iTunes. Both of them are valid. Nick, it's always a pleasure.
Indeed.
And next month, we'll be joined by a mysterious new voice. So until then, ta-ta.
Cheers.
Gamecast from MSN.
In association with Windows Internet Explorer 8.